Hey, what's going on, guys? You're checking out an all new, the RCWR show, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011, dropping Monday night of September 28th, 2020. What's going on, man? I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. We are still fresh off the heels of WWE Clash of Champions, the Gold Rush edition. And yeah, all that great excitement that I had for that pay-per-view. As with regards to expectations, my expectations, I didn't have any. I didn't go into that pay-per-view going, this is gonna suck, this is gonna be. I went into it saying, okay, you know what? I'm just totally calm. I'm just totally neutral. It is what it is. And it ended up being a really good pay-per-view. Shout out to those of you that had joined me less than 24 hours ago for that pay-per-view post-show. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, after you get done with this episode, check it out. Pick it up on the downloads, on demand. We also got the webcast version available on the YouTube channel. But I went into Monday Night Raw very excited, and boy, I tell you what a difference a day makes, because here I am tonight feeling a bit I gotta tell you, I did have a nice hearty laugh seeing Randy Orton come into that Legends poker game and he has a steel chair in hand and he's got his little nighttime goggles on and he's just beating the holy bejeebus out of everybody. I did love that. It had a little bit of a Looney Tunes kind of approach to it and everything, but see, you notice that I said that. I don't exactly say that as a compliment. I say that respectfully as a little bit of a dig because it came off very comical. Come on, I'm sure you guys can recall your favorite episode of Tom and Jerry or your favorite episode of Looney Tunes, or insert whatever your favorite cartoon is from back in the day. And there's that one scene where the character goes into a room, turns the light out, and that character thinks they sure as hell owning the hell out of somebody. And then when the lights come back on, they got owned or whatever. But yeah, it was so comical, like what I honestly was expecting. Once I saw that it was Randy Orton, I gotta tell you, I thought maybe it was going to be somebody from Retribution, which we'll talk about in a hot second, because we do have some Retribution news. Not sure how true it is. Take it with a grain of salt, unless otherwise, but we'll get to that in a hot second. But I thought maybe it was going to be Retribution doing a little something to these legends, and kind of their way of planting the seeds there that they want a piece of Drew McIntyre and everything. But nah, it turned out it was Randy Orton. And even at that, before the whole thing with the steel chair, I thought for sure Randy Orton was going to do some vindictive, medieval on that ass, sadistic, psychotic type of bullshit. I thought Randy Orton was going to go into this room and I thought he was going to pour some gasoline in there, light a freaking match, and somehow booby trap the door in a way where they can't open it, and anybody that's trying to get to them, they're not going to be able to just twist that doorknob and get in there. I thought we were going to have something like that, because that is more, when you think about the Randy Orton character that we've seen over the years. I hear voices in my head, they talk to me, right? I thought for sure we were going to be seeing something sadistic on that level. And I think that would have really, really been a very strong way to end Monday Night Raw. Would you all not agree? Versus the comical effect that we had got there. It was rather comical. It was rather Looney Tune-ish when you really stop and think about it. I'd have loved it if it had ended just like that. And think about this. Think about this. People that do not have a paid subscription to the WWE Network right now, they are checking out the free version. And as part of that, they're able to check out Raw Talk. Okay, well, if you really want to try to drive traffic over to the WWE Network, don't you think you really need to end Raw on such a high note that you're going to have fans clamoring to the WWE network to try to figure out any type of update that they can get over what had happened there with that Legends poker game there with the participants in that, all those WWE legends. That's how you really end it. That's how you should try to end it. And why they didn't exactly go in that direction is beyond me. I think that really would have intensified the feud even more between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, as all signs are indicating that these two are definitely going to be locking up at Hell in the Cell. Yeah, it's just one of those endings where you scratch your head and you go, okay, well, it is what it is. This is what we had got. But, okay, next. What else do we have? But that's my wishful thinking with regards to that segment and how that segment had played out. I'm curious what you all had made of that final segment and everything. But you knew that Randy Orton was not done. I mean, come on. Who else knew in their heart that Randy Orton was not going to be done for tonight? Yeah, he kind of pulled a LeBron James there when he was appearing on the Titantron with his message to HBK and Big Show. Big Show looked pretty damn good too in that suit, by the way, man. I mean, he is really toned up. He's really slimmed down. He's done a phenomenal job in keeping that weight off, man. That's good for him. You know, I like that. That's very good for him, because for the longest time he's been a big dude. He's still a big dude, but you know, now he's a big dude that happens to be in really good shape. So that's where we really got to compliment him there. Christian and Ric Flair, you know, you just knew that, wait a minute, Randy Orton is talking about extracting revenge and all this other stuff, but he's going to pull a LeBron James. And for those of you that don't follow NBA, you aren't really hip on your gifts, there's an infamous, you can do this in a Bing or Google search, there's an infamous gift that's running around of LeBron James. And I forgot which game it was, but it was off of a defeat. And he was at the press box after the game, you know, post interview, and he had shades on, and he had this, I don't know if it was a Gucci purse, I don't know what the hell it was, but they were asking him, you know, what had happened, why you think the team lost, and you could just tell he was pissed off, man. You could tell he was pissed. And my man really did not want to be there. And he walked out of that interview like a petty little you-know-what. I mean, he was switching. He had the purse in his hand and everything. Know your gifts. You look it up. All you got to do in a Bing Google search, just type in LeBron James walking out of interview gif, and you'll be able to see it. You'll know it as soon as you see it. But seeing Randy Orton, I'm gonna get you guys. This isn't the end, not by a long shot. I will have my revenge on all of you. And you're going, okay, cool. But then you see him hit for the exit door, and he's got his freaking little briefcase rolly stroller, and he's just rolling out there. I love that. That was hilarious. I immediately thought about LeBron. By the way, we will be talking about the NBA Finals. We got a good show planned for you guys tonight. Not really too much went down between the pay-per-view going in tonight, so there's a couple of little pieces of news that we can talk about, but aside from the talk of Raw, we'll get into the NBA Finals preview. I'll give you my candid thoughts about a shocking move that the Los Angeles Clippers organization made as they decided they were going to fire Doc Rivers after 7 seasons. We'll dive into that. And of course, the main meat and potatoes, it is our return of the mock draft. We haven't done it in a good minute. It was something that was pretty popular in previous years. And I thought about it. I actually was not going to do it tonight. I was thinking about holding it off for one more week just to really build up hype and everything. But since it's literally going to be going down next week, we're just going to go on ahead and we're going to do it on tonight's show. So, and we don't need to do a 2-parter. We can pretty much have our mock draft wrapped up on the same show. So a nice good episode that we got lined up for you guys tonight. Of course, any of you all that have some questions, wrestling or non-wrestling related, you can definitely sound off, and you can comment as we're streaming live for the next little bit on multiple platforms. We're streaming on the Twitch, we're streaming on the Periscope/Twitter, and we're streaming on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in live right now. Appreciate that. And hey, hit the like, man. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good jazz. So yeah, nice little spot there. Obviously, this is going towards, and did I not call it less than 24 hours ago when I said, okay, so Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, it would appear as though that these guys are done, but not quite yet. We're probably going to be seeing these guys collide at Hell in a Cell. But remember, I still put the question out there, what exactly is going on with Edge? Where is he in his recovery process? I also, to follow up on what I said on the post show last night, I also said, where's Keith Lee? Because remember, Keith Lee wasn't even on the pay-per-view card. And I questioned where he was. And I was hoping that maybe we would, and I said this last night, I said, it would have been badass had we seen some type of a cameo by Keith Lee. And maybe we could have set up a triple threat match between Lee, McIntyre, Orton for the title at Hell in a Cell. But doesn't seem that's on the cards for Keith Lee. But we would find out what was the next chapter for Keith Lee tonight. And yeah, I mean, you can only do but so much for a person, man. And that's the nicest thing that I can honestly say. I'm being very, very nice here. All right, so once again, Raw kicking off. We get the legends. They're pretty much kicking back, talking about how they did not tell Drew McIntyre beforehand their plan of all getting involved and sticking it to Randy Orton. Again, it was nice seeing them. You knew something was coming though, because we kept seeing these guys having this poker table game. And my whole thing is, okay, well, unless Felix Unger and Oscar Madison, odd couple, for those of you that don't know your TV show names and all that, you don't know your TV series, unless Felix Unger and Oscar Madison were going to be showing up to this fucking poker game, get to the point already, because it was starting to become overkill. We really weren't getting any chatter, from them. There was really no good substance there. But as I always say to you guys, what's the carrot for that fan? What's that incentive? Give me that carrot that you're gonna dangle over our heads for why we need to be sticking around to see, okay, so what's gonna happen now? So I thought it was rather, on the writer's part, I thought it was okay. Besides the ending, we don't need to dive into that again. We pretty much exhausted that. But I thought it was kind of cool how, okay, hey, we got these legends, and you're going, okay, so we're going to open up with these legends, following up on what they did to Orton at the pay-per-view. Okay, great. Just when we think we're done seeing these guys, we see them again, and that next time you see them and they're playing poker, you're going, okay, something's up here. We're definitely getting to a punchline here. So is it going to be Retribution, or is it going to be Orton? So I'll give the writers credit for this week on, okay, this is what we're dangling in front of the fans to keep them in, because something's going to happen right here. So that was kind of nice to see and everything. In-ring action for the night. I got to tell you, a lot of the matches that had played out on Raw tonight were rather short matches. I'm looking at the card here, and as far as the matches go, I took my notes as always. I'm seeing 1 match, 2 match, 3 matches, 4 matches, 5 matches, 6 matches. We got about 7, maybe 8 matches. We had about, it looked like we had about 8 matches, give or take, for the night. So I mean, that's not too shabby. That's not really too shabby. But see, here's what I always pay attention to when I'm looking at these matches that play out, particularly for Raw. I'm looking at, okay, well, how long exactly were these matches? So, you got 1 match that's about 9 minutes. Okay, so that's 9 right there. You got another one that's only about 2 minutes. I'll be gracious enough. I'll say 3 minutes. You got another one that's about 3 minutes again. You got another one that's about, I'll say 14 minutes. So right now, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Take your 15 and your 14. And right now, you've got about 29 minutes of in-ring action. Add 4 more minutes. Add yourself about 8 minutes. Give yourself about 5 minutes right there. Give yourself about 12 minutes right there. So you got 30, 31, 32, wait, 30, 31, 32. You got 33 minutes, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, about 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 47, at those 12 minutes, 9. You had, on tonight's Raw, you had 69 minutes worth of in-ring action. Again, 69 minutes. So when you break that down, that's essentially an hour and 9 minutes of in-ring action during a 3-hour broadcast. So I'll let you guys debate on whether or not that's good or that's kind of bad. But yeah, first matchup of the night, we saw a rematch from the pay-per-view, as it was Asuka taking on what am I calling her now? Tiny V? I believe that's the name I'm calling her now. Tiny V. Again, as I said last night, we debuted that name just for Zelina Vega last night. She is known as Tiny V. What the V stands for is up to you all's interpretation. That's the running gag, though. Her name is Tiny V. Okay, match. I'm not going to exhaust what I had said on the pay-per-view post-show. That wouldn't be fair to those of you that had listened less than 24 hours ago. Okay, match. Asuka putting on that Asuka lock, making Zelina tap out. Nice effort by Zelina. Wasn't a bad match considering all the things that was going on, but kind of weird. Here's why I'm a little bit confused. So, Zelina goes into the pay-per-view extremely confident that she can dethrone the Raw Women's Champion. You feel me? Now, in storyline, she does get humbled because Asuka made her tap out at the pay-per-view. So you're going, okay, well, where do we go from here? Because she tapped out cleanly in the middle of the ring. She pretty much lost fair and square. She comes off as a sore loser. And, alright, does the nice heel thing. Cheap shots Asuka. Okay, great. Here we go. Boom. These two are going right back at it again. Where I'm a little bit confused is the fact that Zelina went into this match facing Asuka once again, exuberating such confidence. And I couldn't help but go, well, wait a minute here. You just got your ass whooped less than 24 hours ago. And here you are coming right back out, and you're not at all shaken. You're not at all rattled by the fact that this woman made you tap out and that she could freaking slap that Asuka lock on you at any time and make you tap out again. I mean, you want to talk about outclass by weight. You want to talk about, and I say that respectfully, I'm talking about weight class as far as, in the ring, fighting, got to use quotation marks and everything. Art, whatever you guys want to call it these days, but you get the point that I'm making. So outclassed from that standpoint, outclassed from the in-ring standpoint, just outclassed on so many levels. And yeah, it was weird because I would have thought her mentality going into this matchup and storyline would have been, she would have been kind of a chicken shit kind of challenger here. She learned from what had happened last night, And the new game plan going into this one would be, well, let me play mind games with Asuka. Let me get up inside her head. Let me take some cheap shots. Let me pull some crazy little side antics, try to get the referee on my side. And I was hoping that maybe Zelina Vega would kind of go for something along those lines, but she did not. So that's where I'm a little bit confused over the Asuka that we had got less than 24 hours ago at the pay-per-view, and then the Asuka that we get tonight. Very confused. I don't know how you all, if you all had even took it to that level of deep thinking there, but I just couldn't help but look at that and go, now, it comes off to me, Asuka and Zelina Vega are not done. It feels to me as, you could make the argument, well, Lee, we just saw Homegirl lose cleanly in the middle of the ring. Where the hell is she going to go from there? I'll tell you where you go from there. Assuming that Zelina Vega, aka Tiny V, is going to be taking on Asuka again, I feel it's going to happen at Hell in a Cell. And if you really want to up the ante a little bit, I think one of the things that you could have Zelina do in storyline is say, look, the only reason why Asuka has had my number a couple of times is because of that damn Asuka lock. You take away that Asuka lock, matter of fact, you take away all of her submission moves, she can't beat me. Now, if you want to try to validate that a little bit, that argument, you can then go back and look at this match that she had against Asuka tonight and say, you know, there was a couple of times there where Tiny V came kind of close. She almost pulled an upset. So, okay, maybe Tiny V is on to something here. So, as far as what I would say, look out with regards to this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, again, that's going to be coming up. What is it? Going to be coming up, isn't it October the 24th? That pay-per-view is going to be coming up. I'm actually looking at the calendar right now here. I can tell you real quick. Nah, looks like it's going to be happening on Sunday, October 25th is when it's going down. So I would say, as far as what to look out for, again, Asuka, Tiny V, they're going to go at it again. But I see a very interesting stipulation put out there, which is how Asuka will agree to this. I think it's going to be a case where Asuka is just going to be radiating with such confidence. She's going to have so much bravado. Yeah, Asuka, yeah. I can just see her agreeing to those fucking terms. And still, you still won't be ready for Asuka. Yeah. I can just see that happening. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting how they tell that story. But I would say look out for that. I would actually be shocked if that's not the next phase in this rivalry with these girls. I'd be very shocked if that's not what happens next. But nice little effort, nice little match. It was all right. Other than that, rest of the card we're going to now. Next up, we had Andrade. So Andrade, we hear from the commentators. By the way, awesome to see and hear Samoa Joe back at the booth. Miss Samoa Joe commentating. Andrade, per the commentators, they basically were talking about Andrade, saying Andrade, from what they understand and speaking to him and everything, he looked at himself as the one that was the glue for that union between he, Pepe Le Pew Garza, and Tiny V. And that now that he's removed himself from both of them, essentially they were holding him down and all this other stuff. You're like, okay, all right, we get it. I tell you what I don't get. Hey, I got friends that are bilingual. I have friends and coworkers that speak fluent English. I've got friends and family members that speak broken English. So I love everybody. WWE, for the love of God, I'm begging you, if you really want to make Andrade come off pretty damn strong, simple solution. Until that English gets even better, you gotta have my man not cut them English promos I think we can all be in agreement. That was extremely rough hearing Andrade tonight on that microphone. I'm not gonna even, because I don't want people to have the impression I'm mocking him, because I'm not about that. I'm not. Never have been. But those of you that watch Raw tonight, deep down inside, y'all can be in agreement. That was pretty rough hearing him cut that promo in English, and you're going, what's he saying? Well, having a hard time. Wait, what? Punchline, what? I don't understand this. And I don't know if this is a Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon thing or what, but I don't understand for the love of me. We're still dealing with a pandemic. And in the case of WWE, they are not physically allowing fans to even come be a part of the WWE Thunderdome experience in person. They are, for all intents and purposes, until whenever, maybe sometime first quarter of next year, no fans right now. So what I don't understand is, with there being no fans in attendance, why we can't just have certain stars like Andrade speak in his native language, put up English caption for those of us at home. Hell, give us an English translator. I just don't understand that. I just do not understand that. It just rattles my brain. It almost just comes off as if it is a Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn move to a certain degree. We'll really make this guy even better, until his English gets more cleaner and more crisp and more fluent there. Why don't we just help?
No, he's on this roster. He knows how to speak English, damn it. Yes, English. Yeah.
I don't, your guess is as good as mine, but I would love to be a fly on the wall and try to understand why, because to my point, how many times over the years, those of you that's been checking out NXT for a good minute now, how many times have we seen stars on that roster not fluent in English, cut promos, damn good promos in their native English, and we get the English captioning? And you're like, shit, that's badass. Io Shirai is a prime example of that. I mean, my girl, the stuff they do for Io Shirai down there, it is badass. It is badass. If you haven't checked out NXT in a good minute, I would implore you to go out of your way and check out some of the stuff that they do for her when they're trying to set up her and her next opponent matches and all that. Yeah, she'll talk a little tiny bit of English here and there, but heavily, you got to give Paul Levesque and crew a lot of credit. They are literally playing to those talent strengths. And that is something that I wish on the main flagship shows that would be executed more until, okay, now you're really ready, you're good to go, let's go there. But when it was all said and done, Andrade, he was issuing a challenge. Keith Lee had accepted that challenge. Great to see Keith Lee. Really would have preferred to see him at the pay-per-view. Took on Andrade. Squash match. This match barely didn't even make it 3 minutes. Keith Lee just demolished his ass. Yeah. Hurt Business was in the house. Loving the stuff with the Hurt Business, man. I love the spot there that they did. It seemed like we were getting the Hurt Business, the Wonder Years or something like that, because it seemed like we were watching these guys back when they were in elementary and high school or whatever, getting ready to have lunch together. And you see this white guy just come and sit next down to, who was it, MVP and Shelton Benjamin. And Bobby Lashley just comes from out of nowhere, hey, you're in my seat. And the guy, he kind of came off a little dickish. He didn't say nothing, but he just came off a little dickish with his body language. He moves to another seat. Lashley's going, that's my seat too. And finally, the white guy looks up and realizes, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. He picks up his plate of food, and then you got Lashley going, wait, you gonna take my plate of food too? Keep in mind, Lashley already has his plate of food. So that poor guy, it just... I loved it. I loved it. That was a nice little spot right there. We saw them in action later on during the night. It's kind of nice how everything was explained as far as them eventually having a match too, because we saw another segment with them backstage and they ran into Mustafa Ali. They roughed him up a little bit. Apollo Crews came in there, and contrary to how I might have felt on the post show last night and how others may feel, Apollo Crews is not done. Neither is Ricochet. They're not done with the Hurt Business just yet. Oh joy, oh joy. But now we got Mustafa Ali that's thrown into the mix. So this pretty much has set up an instant Acme feud, basically, where we saw the team of the Hurt Businesses. That's actually not a word. We shouldn't go with that. Hurt Business. Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin teamed up to take on Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews. Team Ricochet picking up the W thanks to Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali actually pinning MVP there. So, hey, I actually like Mustafa Ali. So it's been a bit inconsistent. You know, one minute we see Mustafa Ali, and then the next minute we don't. And we're like, okay, you know, one minute we're under the impression he's gonna be given some creepy GTV type of gimmick, and that doesn't happen. Then he comes back and says, hey, there he is, and then he disappears again. He cuts these I know what it's like to be on these streets promo, and okay, we see him and then he disappears again. So my point, hopefully this is something to where, okay, on the regular, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of Mustafa Ali. By the way, I do have a poll asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's WWE RAW? So head over there on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Give me a follow over there while you're at it too. Or you can head on over to youtube.com/the RCWR Show. For those of you that don't have Twitter, once you're there, click on the communities tab and you can cast your vote that way. Let me know what you had thought about Monday Night Raw for tonight. And I can tell you this, as I'm looking at the polling results right now, we've got 25% of you, this is via Twitter, by the way, 25% of you are giving Raw a thumbs up. Meanwhile, 75% of you are giving it a thumbs down. I repeat, 25% of you are giving this week's Raw a thumbs up, while 75% of you are giving the show a thumbs down. Now, let's see what you guys are saying on YouTube, because I'm most curious what you guys are saying on YouTube. And normally, the voting on YouTube, I noticed that the earlier I promote that communities tab where you can vote, the better. So you guys gotta forgive me if the polling results so far might be a little bit low, but I'm curious. Let's see what's going on, because once in a while YouTube will surprise me and I'll actually see a nice good spike in numbers there. Yeah, it's still early. 50% tie right now. So go ahead, vote. If you got both access to both platforms, just pick one. Just pick one and go from there. Maybe I'll follow up right before we roll out, because I'm curious what you guys have to say. So other than that, see, what else did we have on tonight's card here? Just going through the rest here. The shit with Rollins, man. The shit with Rollins and Mysterio, I'm cringing. And now we're dusting off Jerry the King Lawler for this. We're having him shovel this shit on out there to us. I mean, it's just by the week, it's getting more and more cringe. It really is. And be careful what you wish for. That would be my message to some of you fans out there, because there was a decent amount of you guys. But Lee, what else can we do with Dominic and Ray and Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy? Oh man, this is getting kind of exhausting, man. And hey, not for nothing, but when I was growing up in the 80s, you had programs that would last between a good heated little rivalry too, that would last between two guys for 6-7 months or whatever. So and to kind of defend WWE a little bit, they wanted to get back to bases and do those type of storylines more when they felt it made a lot of sense. They had the right pieces in place, and most importantly, they had the right story that they could tell. And initially, what WWE had going on with Mysterios and Rollins Murphy was okay, but now we are just getting to a cringe type of level with this current chapter, with Sister Mysterio and this Romeo Juliet type of relationship that's supposedly going on with Buddy Murphy and everything. To my point, Rollins stirring the pot a little more. Let me show you the latest that Rollins did, as Rollins appeared via Titantron, taking advantage of the Mysterios being out there. And this was weird because Seth Rollins ran into Murphy backstage, was wondering why he was in his in-ring gear while he should be in his suit that he bought for him, and he encouraged him to go grab it. So Murphy reluctantly went to go do that. He left his phone in the process. I don't know about you guys, but I don't leave my phone. I take that bitch everywhere I go. I'm automatically looking at this. I'm going, oh man, if there's one thing we know about cell phones and Seth Rollins from the past, doesn't really work out that well. So we get this segment where the Mysterios are in the ring, and Seth Rollins pulls up this screenshot of what Sister Mysterio, this private conversation that she had with Murphy. And the story that Rollins was trying to spin was, oh, there's something kinky. There's something going on here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'll just do the narration of this. I know you guys can read this, but I got to read this for those that's going to be checking out the audio version of this show. So we got Buddy Murphy. Hey, I just wanted to apologize again. And Sister Mysterio.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you're okay. Why does this now sound like To Catch a Predator's chat log?
I made cookies. They're in the oven. Did you bring the condoms?
Yeah. Anyway, cue Chris Hansen. Have a seat. You made it up here okay. That's great. Enjoying the cookies? Want some juice? Anyway, I hope you're doing okay.
I'm fine. It's just been a lot.
I get it. But if you want to talk about it, I'm here.
I might just take you up on that offer. By the way, happy birthday!
And we're supposed to look at that, and we're supposed to basically go, somebody's really knocking the boots. Like, come on, man. Really? That's the... I just couldn't help but cringe and laugh at this because it was just, oh, this is the drizzling shits. And I mean, myself and a few other people were chewing this up big time. We were having a field day with this one. From shout out to the one kid that said, now show Velveteen Dreams text. I upped the ante a little bit and I said, shit, fuck that. Show Seth Rollins sex text messages and his dick pics next. Like, I mean, since we're gonna go there, I mean, we're gonna be throwing stones. Like, come on now. This is just, it's cringe. It feels much like Retribution. Okay, we got this really good thing that sounds good on paper. Okay. But as far as the in-between, in the end, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't have an idea on where we need to be taking this. You know, it's like, really? Do tell. So, see, on the one hand, it's got shades of Attitude Era. I don't know if you guys are picking up on that. It's got shades of Attitude Era because I'm also thinking about a young, naive Stephanie McMahon. That's what I'm kind of seeing when I look at Sister Mysterio. When I look at Murphy, I think about the late Tess Andrew Martin. That's what I think about. And to a certain degree, Rey Mysterio is Vince McMahon. And you've got Dominic Mysterio, who is Shane McMahon. And Linda McMahon is now portrayed by Mama Mysterio. Am I forgetting anybody? So it comes off like a watered down version of that. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you compare what we got right now to what was going on way back when, everything was just clicking on all cylinders. It was clicking on all cylinders. I damn sure ain't gonna say you had the right personalities that were in place. I mean, I guess to a degree, you could say, and if you see me kind of moving around here, I'm just looking for my pen. I had a pen. It's like the second pen I've lost during the stream here. But anyway, yeah, but no, you look at Stephanie, from way back then, and you're going, oh, this, sweet, innocent girl, and oh man, Undertaker, and you just think about all that other shit. But you had some really good pieces that were in place way back when. And when you look at what we are currently experiencing right now, it's like, I'm sorry, but if all we're really going to be reliant on heavily is Rollins and the Mysterio name, you need to have a lot more than that. That's just really not feasible. You're not really going to be cutting it like that. So it's missing some elements, man. I don't know. I kind of wish to a certain degree that under different circumstances, I wish that there would be some Guerreros involved in this. I personally feel that Guerreros would really spice this up. They would really make this interesting. How I wish under any other different circumstance, WWE would have access to Chavo Guerrero and Vicky Guerrero, because I definitely feel in my heart of hearts they would make this a lot more interesting. They really would. But it is what it is. Feels as though all signs are pointing to hopefully the big payoff at Hell in a Cell, where this will wrap up once and for all. I hope, because this just feels like it's really, really dragging on. I'm most curious. I'm going to give you a prediction. I know we're getting ready to talk about the mock draft and everything, but I'm going to give you a prediction. I'm going to say that once this draft goes into effect, I am going to say, I can't tell you which one it's going to be, but I have a feeling that between the two, Mysterio and Rollins, I just have a feeling that somebody is going to get drafted. And no matter what, they're going to get drafted. Now, the match is still going to happen at Hell in a Cell, obviously, but I just kind of feel as though, just kind of really freshen things up, I feel that's pretty much going into the draft. We're going to have a pull apart, basically. I think that would be the smart move. Now, could Dominic do a lot more on Monday Night Raw? Yeah, he could. He could do a lot more on Monday Night Raw, I personally feel. Seth Rollins, with this current incarnation, I think he's done. I think he's reached the max. I'll be honest with you. I think he's reached the max on everything that he can do on the Raw side of things. So don't be too surprised if Seth Rollins gets drafted to SmackDown. I'm already kind of giving you guys a little bit of a spoiler right there. Other than that, your newest addition to the Raw roster, we kept hearing Mandy is Raw. Well, she finally made her Raw debut. She teamed up with Dana Brooke to take on the team of, and they defeated the team of Lana and Natalya. It is what it is. My mom always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I mean, you guys want to, hey, so how was it? Was it a good match? It was a match. That's about all I can say. It was a match. Probably the match of the night, if you kind of want to get technical. I actually would kind of give it up to Kevin Owens and Aleister Black. They went about almost 15 minutes. And I actually appreciated what they did. You know, it wasn't a 5-star match or anything like that, but it kept me around. It was a pretty good match. Kevin Owens won that match via DQ. And a little bit of a what's going on there? Because the referee takes a little bit of a bump there. Closing moments of this one. We saw a running knee strike to Owens from Aleister Black. Black goes in for the cover. 2 count. Went in for another cover. That was a 2 count. Did it a third time. Did not work. So finally, after he does a nice beatdown on Owens, ref tries to get involved and say, hey, you got to ease up. Black actually gets all up in the referee's face. Referee warns him, hey, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to DQ you, so you got to listen. Out of nowhere, Owens hits Aleister Black with a huge right. Black comes in with a few strikes. Black then reels back to hit Owens, but he catches the ref without knowing it. Ref pretty much calls the match, DQs Aleister Black in the process. That's pretty much it. So, obviously, not by a long shot, these two men are done with each other. Let's see, what else? I could care less about the 24/7 championship. I'm just going to bypass all of that. Sorry, guys. Love y'all. But I'm going to bypass that. Murphy, Mysterio, Kid Mysterio, they did have a match. Murphy getting the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Pretty short match, man. Pretty short match. I'm already tired of this. Let's see. Other than that, just looking here. I knew I almost forgot one. Our main event match of the night, Drew McIntyre. He had a open fight challenge. He was willing to face anybody that wanted to face him in the ring. Well, I was pretty excited, I gotta tell you. I don't know how many of you guys were excited as well. Because the stipulation to this was Drew McIntyre will face anybody that he has never faced before. So you're going, oh, okay, so this opens up the world of maybe NXT once again, or maybe somebody we haven't thought about in a while. Hell, could it be the modern day Maharaja? Could it be Jinder Mahal? Like, what's going on here? Nah, we get the next best thing. We get Bobby Roode. We get Bobby Roode. It is what it is. We get Bobby Roode. Good matchup, though. I will say, it was a good matchup between the guys. Drew McIntyre coming away with the W there. And this was courtesy of Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was actually the one that pulled the strings for this, because we actually see him, and what was the big giveaway? We see Dolph Ziggler catch up to Adam Pearce and wants to talk to him in his office because he has an interesting proposition for him. So you hear that, you're going, wait, what? And you're going, oh, man. And at this point, you're going, well, this is so close to the main event. I think at that point, when we saw that segment, I think we had about maybe 40 to 50 minutes to go. And you're like, Ziggler, we know what this means. So, but that was a good match. I would say both men, it was a good match as well. But I won't say Raw was a terrible show, but we just did the breakdown for you guys again. Out of 8 matches, 3-hour show, we basically had an hour and 9 minutes worth of matches. And pretty mediocre at best. Maybe 2 matches you could take out of those 8 that were actually, that was actually pretty good. Everything else you honestly could have just discarded and kept it moving along. By the way, I thought it was kind of hilarious how once again we get the Bianca Belair EST little spot there, and we're going, okay, so she's the black female version of Mr. Perfect. Is that the story that we're basically telling now, rather than have her go in like rapper Trina, she's the baddest bitch? You know, rather than kind of go in with that, we're basically gonna have her be the black Mr. Perfect. I mean, I'm down with that. I just need to know how we're basically spinning this, but why we're doing these vignettes all over again. And see, this is where, okay, how silly can you get here? Because we're doing these vignettes. Riddle me this. I'm about to blow your fucking mind in a Dr. Steve Brill type of way that's going to have you just... Huh? Yeah, people that's listening to the audio, you can't see me, but I just made the Dr. Steve Brill face where he's looking all confused and shit. Riddle me this. If we're getting ready to do a WWE draft, don't you think it makes all the sense in the world that as far as Bianca Belair vignettes go, I don't know, we pause on it until we know officially where Homegirl is going to be going, roster-wise? Officially? You know, what's up with all of these fucking promo spots when this girl could be going to the other show? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So, yeah, they really just need to stop with the vignettes and all that other shit until after the draft. We'll pretty much, you know, take it from there. But yeah, just... Alright, let's look at this poll again. Again, Twitter at the RCWR Show. So we're still standing strong. I'm still seeing that 75% of you are giving Raw a thumbs down. 25% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on here on YouTube. YouTube, once again, I am seeing... If you hear a weird sound, I'm just adjusting my chair arms here. YouTube communities tab, I am seeing 33% of you are giving the show a thumbs down. 67% are giving it a thumbs up. Average show. If you didn't watch it and you were pretty excited after seeing the pay-per-view, but you didn't get a chance to watch this, you didn't miss out on anything. To my point, no Retribution. We didn't get Retribution at the pay-per-view. We didn't get Retribution tonight. Well, there's a report. May shed a little bit of light on what's going on with Retribution right now. But according to Dave Meltzer, again, take the report with a grain of salt and everything, but according to him, the main Retribution members were reportedly held off from actually making a Clash of Champions appearance because they were not medically cleared to compete. And it was noted they may be out of action due to a positive COVID-19 test or just for COVID-19 precautionary measures. Now, Ryan Satin would follow up on Twitter, and he said that the 5 core members of the group have tested negative for the coronavirus. However, each member has to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks because they came into proximity with someone else who tested positive for COVID-19. So, you know, hey, I mean, you kind of knock on wood, you know, based on what you're hearing and everything. Now, for those of you that maybe are wondering, okay, well, that's great for them, but what about Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler? They didn't make an appearance at the pay-per-view. Well, right before Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke had their match against Lana and Natalya, Adam Pearce, he did reveal that as far as that championship goes, the women would not be stripped of their titles, but yet at the same time, as far as what's going on with them, officially in storyline, we still didn't get that. Give me a second here. It's like we still didn't get that. So, but they're still your champions. They're still your champions. Lana and Natty and storyline, they were trying to get those girls stripped of the titles, but Adam Pearce said, no, it ain't happening. But if you want to put yourself in a position where you can make an argument that you should be facing those women for the titles, here's your opportunity, starting right here. And they lost to the team of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. So, look, if that's what they're doing, that's great. But riddle me this. As we put a pretty little ribbon on the talk of Monday Night Raw, I wanna just end it with a tweet that I had put out. And I followed up on something that I had said from September 14th. You can see this for yourself. I said, and I use Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus from the Matrix trilogy. I said, what if I were to tell you Raw Underground is an underground training, scouting, and recruitment compound for the Retribution? I followed that up with, you gotta admit, with no Shane O'Mac and no Raw Underground and no Retribution. This last tweet of mine aged pretty well so far. Just give you a little something to think about there. Just saying. I don't know if you guys are starting to see the light there with me, but yeah. So that's the talk of Raw. Loads more that we're going to be able to get into. We officially have clocked in at an hour. We got loads more that we can get into, but I do want to take this time out for a quick pause. And I want to acknowledge our great Patreon members. Remember, patreon.com/RCWR show. You can check out great bonus and exclusive content. Content you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. Get access to new exclusive shows and all of that. Just starting at $5 a month. You can't beat that. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Shout out to Patreon members. Gino Morgan, shout out to Justin Ripstock, shout out to Rawl, shout out to Michael Wolf, John Davis, shout out to my bestie, Tony Bean Gaming. Want the latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers, Tony Bean Gaming. He's on YouTube at Tony Bean Gaming. Tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, and reviews. He's got you covered. He has a Patreon paywall as well, so check him out. And we'll get into some sponsor shout outs a little bit later on in the show. Meanwhile, where do we go from here? So, not really too much. A little wrestling news wise has gone on since last we were on the air with you guys. I posed this question during Raw. I'll pose the question here. Only answer if you know with 100% accuracy and you watched all the shows from last week. Whether you're watching this live or you'll be watching this on demand or listening to this on the downloads. With regards to the passing of Road Warrior Animal, last week on WWE programming, did WWE acknowledge his passing? Now, sadly, my work schedule was very, very hectic last week. What should have been my day off last Thursday actually was not my day off. And it was kind of fucked up too, because the way I found out I wasn't going to have that Thursday to myself, I went into work Wednesday. And right before my boss left for the day, he said, Lee, I need a huge favor. I need you to work Thursday. Can you work Thursday? I need help badly. And I said, woof. Okay. All right, great. Yeah, come in at this time. And so I actually had worked 5 days straight last week. So Thursday was supposed to be my day to catch up on shows and everything, so I sadly was not able to do that. That's why we kind of just went on ahead and skipped that Thursday/Friday show and went right into the Call That Match prediction special. So I did see Monday's Raw. Yes, I did see Monday's Raw, And we know that Road Warrior Animal, he passed, what was it? The announcement was made Wednesday the 23rd. So I'm not sure if he died the day before, but it was everywhere. The news about his passing is spread like wildfire as of the 23rd. So that pretty much leaves, okay, so what went down with last week's NXT and what went down with last week's SmackDown, was his passing acknowledged? And the reason why I put that question out there is because, look, if they did, then that's very classy on their part. Now, I don't want anybody to hit me up with, well, Lee, they acknowledged his passing on the website. Or they acknowledge his... No. It has to be on the TV shows. Because any other time somebody passes, we pretty much get the usual stuff, do we not, on the shows? So, reason why I'm bringing up that question is because I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this, but I can't help but remember going back to 2016, he did get involved in that class action lawsuit talking about concussions, CTE, suffering the traumatic brain injuries and all that. And, you know, that was that fucking lawyer Kairos luring him and everybody else by the hand. Oh, yeah, you know, we can get this. And ultimately, that case was dismissed as of 2018, but there was an appeal filed at the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. But it was dismissed a couple of weeks before Animal's death, Road Warrior Animal's death. So, you know, I can't help but wonder, you know, just saying, if Road Warrior Animal did not get acknowledged on WWE TV programming last week, that's kind of fucked up. My personal opinion. That's kind of fucked up. I'm hoping that he did. And like I said, if you guys have watched the WWE programming from last week, let me know, because I'm curious. I have actually private messaged a couple of my buddies to find out, you know, hey, you know, what's the word? Because I told them, I said, hey, look, I'm prepping for the show. You got any info? You know, what's the 411? I'm curious, and I haven't heard back from anybody just yet. But you know, we lost a good one last week. I sadly did not get a chance to talk about his passing. But Road Warrior Animal passing, yeah, that was a guy I was seeing him off and on over the years. Anytime it came to a wrestling convention, that guy was always there. Anytime he came to autograph signings, the whole 9 yards, that guy was always there. And man, you talk about a way for him to go out as well. I mean, look, 60 is rather young. You know, I'm not saying 60 is the new 30 or anything like that, but, you know, yeah, in the decades prior, did he do some shit to his body? He probably did, but he cleaned up his act, you know, well past, you know, that point and everything. And, you know, 60 is relatively young. And, you know, when you look at the last batch of photos of him for 2020, and you just go back honestly to the previous years, this was a guy that always stayed in relatively good shape. You know, to the point when you saw him, oh, I know who that is. That's, you know, he aged rather well. It was almost like he found a fucking fountain of youth. And my heart definitely breaks to his family, definitely to all the fellow fans out there, you know, all around the world. You know, he died at a resort, so I don't know if he was like on vacation. I mean, but apparently he died at the Margaritaville Resort that was formerly known as the Tantar Resort out at is it Osage Beach? I think that's how you pronounce it. Osage Beach, Missouri. You're like, damn, you know, it kind of gave me James Gandolfini vibes there, because remember how James Gandolfini had passed away? He was on vacation and he fucking passed away. It's crazy when you think about it, because death. Okay, yeah, so you want me to come get you at this time on this day, particularly after you get done having this meal, right? Like while you're sleeping, you want me? Yeah, I wish. Wouldn't that be a lot easier for us if we knew when death was coming and we can pretty much just, okay, let me pull out my calendar here, and that would be great. That'd be great. Almost kind of reminds me of that classic Twilight Zone episode. That would be great, but man, I kind of have a smile on my face knowing that, well, you know what? Because one of the first things I thought about as soon as he had passed, I thought about the episode of Dark Side of the Ring on the Road Warriors. And I remember talking to Dark Side of the Ring's producer, Evan Husney, and when we were talking about, okay, so tell us about some of the episodes that's going to be coming up, you know, that second season, you know, what fans should be looking out for, you know, which episodes did you enjoy taping the most? Without hesitation, his fondness for the Road Warriors, he was really, really proud of that episode. Of all the episodes, that was the one for him that this is the one, because it was basically him, and I can't think of the other guy's name, sadly, because the other guy, we were supposed to interview him not once but twice, and each time something weird had happened where he would get caught up back in post-production or whatever. So it was always me and Evan that were doing the interviews. I think it's Jason. I can't picture the last name though. Jason, can't picture the last name. But he was saying, yeah, this was our favorite episode to produce because me and Jason, we grew up big wrestling fans. We both were very, very heavy on the Road Warriors. So to be able to sit down, and so yeah, it's nice to kind of get that definitive stamp mark, because let's face it, if Road Warrior Animal had passed any time before a second season of Dark Side of the Ring, I mean, you honestly, let's be for real, you couldn't even do an episode of Dark Side of the Ring on the Road Warriors. It just wouldn't have been the same. It's not Road Warriors unless you have access to one of the Warriors. So from that standpoint, you know, I kind of had a smile on my face to, okay, well, you know what? You know, at least Road Warrior Animal was able to, you know, usher in a new generation of fans that maybe were just discovering the Road Warriors. And, you know, here's that nice definitive stamp mark retrospective on the careers and everything. And I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this right now, but if you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, there is a special commemorative, I don't think it's a Dark Side of the Ring shirt. I can actually go on my Facebook timeline, because that's where I actually had saw it initially here. But let me see if I can actually find it here. But there's a commemorative Road Warrior Animal shirt. Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now, actually. Yeah, it's a badass shirt. If you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, there's a Road Warrior Animal Legends Live Forever shirt, 1960 to 1920. Costs $24.99. And when you buy that shirt, what's really fucking badass, you're actually helping out Road Warrior Animal's family. So, you know, kind of have that in the back of your mind. I would think that as far as that shirt goes, they're basically doing it kind of similar to what went down with the Owen Hart shirt that was released by Dark Side of the Ring. If you guys recall, it wasn't a case where 100% of all profits were going to the family. This is probably a case similar to, you know, part of the proceeds basically is going to be going towards the family and all of that. If you're going to ask me straight up, am I going to be getting a shirt? Yes, I will. I'm actually going to be getting that shirt, and I'm going to be getting a Road Warrior shirt as well. I don't know if I'll get the Dark Side of the Ring Road Warrior shirt. I don't know if I'll get that one. I kind of like the other ones that don't have the dark side. But they got some really good designs over there. Now that I'm looking at it, it's like, wow, this is pretty fucking badass. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. And look, if you're not in a position where you can give, you don't have money right now to get yourself some new wrestling merch, I'm sure you guys know some people that, oh, you know what, they definitely would be interested in this, But I was quite sad. I was quite sad, but I've just gotten to a point with regards to 2020. I've just gotten so numb because it just seems like every week we hear about somebody passing, and it's just gotten to a point now where it's just, damn, that really fucking sucks. But definitely a lot of fond memories I have of the Road Warriors. Definitely a lot of fond memories when I just think about, that's interesting. The Pro Wrestling Tees site that I was telling you about earlier, or maybe it's just my internet. No, it was actually the Pro Wrestling Tees site because I'm on my website now, and that loaded up just fine. Yeah, the Pro Wrestling Tees site looks like they had a gateway timeout when I was trying to request the load up page synopsis for the Animal Rest in Peace shirt. Kind of weird there that I had got a timeout. But anyway, no, I'm definitely, I just couldn't help but be very reminiscent about some of my favorite matches of the Road Warriors, of course. And I don't want to, spend 20, 30 minutes. I'm sure a lot of you guys have, already made your rounds and you've heard different tributes and all that. So, I am in my own way kind of doing my own little tribute as well. But, for me, some of my favorite Road Warrior moments, as far as the matches go, off the break, my number one, Road Warriors taking on Harlem Heat on Nitro, 1996. Look that up. You want to see some damn good fucking tag team action? That's where you need to go. Also, Road Warriors taking on Nikita Koloff and Ivan. That was from the NWA Great American Bash Tour. That was pretty damn good. Road Warriors taking on Sting and Booker T, Uncensored, 1996. Another damn good one. Legends of Doom taking on Money Inc., SummerSlam, 1992. Road Warriors, I'm thinking Starrcade, I want to say either 86 or 87. Taking on Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Good shit right there. Canadian Stampede, 1987. Legion of Doom, Steve Austin, Goldust, and Kim Shamrock taking on the Hell Foundation. That was the In Your House Canadian Stampede, 1997 edition. Road Warriors, of course, all-time favorite. Starrcade from 1989. The Road Warriors taking on the Steiner Brothers. Oh my God, man, that for me was just a fucking clinic right there. But for me, definitely my number one definitely goes to Harlem Heat taking on the Road Warriors. But a lot of fun fucking memories of the Road Warriors, man. A lot of fun fucking memories. If there is a wrestling heaven somewhere, Road Warrior Animal is definitely reunited with Hawk, and they are tearing it up right now with some of the greats. So rest in power, Road Warrior Animal, for sure. Rest in power. A little bit more of a lighter note, Jerry Lawler celebrated his 50th anniversary being involved in the business. There was a 50th anniversary show that actually took place over the weekend. I'm not sure how many of you guys had heard about it. There was a Thunderdome Steel Cage 6-man tag match and a lot more. This had happened at the ballpark at Jackson in Jackson, Tennessee. Quick results here of the matches. Matt Boyce defeated Derek King. LT Falk Jr., Tom Pritchard, and Tony Atlas defeated Dylan McQueens and the Brothers of Seduction, Cam the Prince and Jake Tucker. James Ellsworth, there's a name you all haven't probably heard in a while, defeated Danny Dollar. Perky Will and the Essentials. Huncho Hensley and Jason Genesis defeated Chris Styles, Gunnar Lane, and Justin Tyndall. The Boogeyman, I missed the Boogeyman, defeated Christian James. And then you had for the USACW Southern Heavyweight title, Luke Cage defeated Matt Starr to win the title. You had a USACW Ladies title, NWA Women's title match. Miranda Gordy took on Thunder Rosa. That match ended in a double countout. USACW Heavyweight title match. Jake Lawless defeated Nathan Starr to win the title. And your Thunderdome Steel Cage match. Jerry Lawler and the Rock and Roll Express's Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson defeated Doug Gilbert, Matt Rivera, and Tommy Rich. I actually would not mind actually watching that card. So I'm going to try to see if I can go out of my way, and hopefully they had streamed that bad boy somewhere. If they didn't, that'd be a damn travesty. But I actually want to try to see if I can look that bad boy up there. Let's see. I have not seen the episode of Broken Skull Sessions with Steve Austin talking with Kurt Angle. Hearing a lot of praise for it, though. I will definitely be checking it out, and I will give my thoughts on it later on during the week. By the way, rest in peace to the King of Jazz and the King of Cool, Miles Davis. Miles Davis had passed away on the day of September 28th in 1991. It's kind of sad because he had went to the hospital for some routine checkups, and the medical staff, they had recommended, hey, why not you let us go in and do this procedure? And basically, to break it down in layman's terms, they wanted to operate on his throat, and they wanted to help loosen up the muscles, and they were trying to help him get more airflow through his, windpipes and all that. And he flipped the hell out. I mean, he was extremely pissed at the idea of that even being brought up, and that overexcitement that he had on top of the problem he was already having with his throat. He also had pneumonia, I think bronchitis, and something else. He pretty much worked himself into such a high pitch that it should have been a case where, okay, we're going to just keep you overnight for a couple of days, give you some antibiotics, monitor you for the next 24 to 72 hours. Signs are good, then we're going to go ahead and let you go. No, and instead, he loses consciousness, and eventually he slips into a coma. He's fighting for his life on a respirator, basically, and they pretty much, the family, they had to make the call, and eventually they said, okay, well, turn off the machine. If he's not coming, then turn off the machine. So he passed away at the age of 65, and it's kind of weird too, because kind of ironic when you think about it too, because right before he passed, there was a painting. I don't know how many of you guys were aware of Miles Davis. Well, you should if you are a big jazz fan and you're a Miles Davis fan. You know how big he was into the arts and everything, and he dipped into creating his own artwork and everything. Right before he passed, there was actually a painting that he was working on, and it was dark and heavy as fuck. It was a painting where basically he was depicting his own demise. So research that when you guys get a chance. But rest in power to the king of jazz and cool, Miles Davis. Miles Davis. You ask me straight up, what's my all-time favorite Miles Davis album? Oh, hands down, Kind of Blue. Timeless album. You can listen to it repeatedly from beginning to end. Great album. Great album. See, other than that one, I'm trying to think what else was a really good Miles Davis album. Oh man, I gotta actually look at the catalog. I got all his albums on iTunes. I would actually have to look at the catalog again, cause man, I think it really depends. I think the best answer to that question, and it's a legit honest question, I think it depends on a couple of things. One, what is your Miles Davis mood? And then two, what period of Miles Davis music are we talking about as far as your favorites? Because the correct answer would be All of it is great, but I think it really just depends on what's going on with your mood that day and what period are you essentially feeling like. That's what it pretty much comes down to. So kind of good shit right there. It's weird because on top of that, I just saw that I got a bogus joint from YouTube here. I'm telling you, man, these third party individuals, and when they try to do their thing, and that's our song. It's like, nah, that's not your song. You're just trying to fucking make some money. And what's really hilarious is I got motherfuckers that's going back into my archives from like 2012. From 2012. It's like, damn, you need money that bad for some content from 2012 that you're trying to monetize? Come on, man. Come on, dude. Anyway, all right. So let's talk a little sports real quick. And then we'll get into the mock draft and everything. All right. So as we saw, NBA Finals is now set. We got LeBron, the Lakers. They're going to be taking on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. NBA Finals, it begins on September 30th. Should be good. Should be a damn good series. I'm actually legitimately looking forward to it. Your guess is as good as mine as far as... Let me not say that, because I'd be bullshitting. Lakers are looking to be the favorites, but stranger, crazier things have happened. Have they not? So, for me, this would be one hell of a nice bookend to the NBA season for the Lakers organization. We lost a great man, a great ambassador of basketball earlier this year. So for things to just come full circle right that, I can tell you this, if they were to win the NBA Finals, I know one of the first things that a lot of people are going to point and acknowledge, remember that one Lakers game that played out, and remember the score in the first quarter? Remember how it was 24-8? And everybody was going, man, somewhere from the heavens, Kobe Bryant had touched that game. Somehow he touched that game. I can't remember who were the opponents that the Lakers were facing, but this was basically the first game to be played after the announcement of the passing of Kobe Bryant, right before the whole pandemic shit hit and NBA games had got suspended and everything. Anybody that knows their NBA know exactly that moment that I'm talking about. But again, if the NBA, as far as the NBA Finals go, if the Lakers were to win, I know that's going to be that one defining moment that a lot of folks are going to point at and say, Kobe freaking blessed these guys from then on and pretty much was watching them along the way. You damn sure might be able to make that argument. I'm looking at the rosters here for both teams. And boy, I tell you, I'm looking at Miami side. I need the veteran Andre Iguodala. I definitely, because he's been there, he's been to those finals and everything. You know, he's been successful in the postseason. I definitely need to see. I mean, you know, come on, this is a 3-time NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. So this is a man that brings experience. Not only does he bring that playoff experience, he brings that NBA Finals experience. If I'm the coach, Eric Spoelstra, I'm definitely relying on Andre Iguodala for this series. You got to. I'm also looking at Udonis Haslem. I would like to see him. Now, look, when I say I would like to see him play as well, I'm not saying that him and Andre Iguodala both need to be on the floor at the same time. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, though, you definitely, because Udonis Haslem, in his own respected right, he's a 3-time NBA champion as well. So what I'm saying is you got to have a rotation of both of those guys. They got to be on the floor at all times when it's all said and done. Swap one out when you need to rest them, put the other one in, and you just got to keep flipping it like that. But Miami bench, they definitely going to need that veteran experience if they have a shot at dethroning the Lakers, because the Lakers are fucking stacked. I've seen enough, and I'm legit concerned about the Miami Heat. I'm legit concerned. Looking at the rest of the Miami roster, Jimmy Butler, he just got to be consistent. He just has to continue to be consistent. Jimmy Butler, for this series against the Lakers, he needs to be averaging at least 30 games. Now look, 30 points. Those 30 points during these games, now that's not going to be enough. Because on top of averaging 30 points, he's also going to need to do a damn good job in assists. During this particular series, I'm expecting him to have 30 points, 15 assists, maybe like 7 rebounds or something like that. But, I definitely need to see him on top of, okay, I'm getting some really good looks. I'm going to take this one. I got this. I need him to do an excellent job in assisting, passing the ball, getting the other guys involved. Jay Crowder, I'm definitely eyeballing him. Gorgon Dragic, you got to get him involved. You got to Bam Adebayo. Fuck yeah, you got to get Bam Adebayo. You got to feed him early. You got to get him warmed up early. Same thing for Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, if there is a dark Trojan horse that I'm looking at and I'm going, we got to watch out for this. This kid has become right before my eyes. If there's one of many things I look at with regards to this past NBA season, and I just go, man, impressive. Tyler Hero. I need me a hero. And it's funny, too, because I got a hero sandwich in the fridge. So I know what I'll be doing after the show's over. But, man, that kid, he is so fucking impressive. He is so fucking clutch. For 20 years old, I mean, he plays like such a veteran. He plays with such confidence. He is not shaken. He goes there. Okay, all right. You need me to do X, Y, Z? Okay, I'll do it. All right, just post me up. Give me the ball. Let me do my thing. I've never seen such a young kid come out with such confidence. With such fucking confidence. I'm very impressed with him, but you got to get him started early. You definitely got to feed him. You got to get him going early. Because the earlier you get him going, but those are going to be some of the guys I'm going to be paying attention to. Let me look at the rest of the roster here. I'm just looking at the rest of the roster here. Yeah. Duncan Robinson, he has some moments too. Chris Silva, he's got some moments too. Kyle Alexander as well. Derrick Jones Jr., yeah, but really those core guys that I had mentioned, those are the ones that you got to look out for, basically. Those are the ones. Now, as far as the matchups go and everything, that's where I'm really going to be like, I'm hoping that Jimmy Butler is going to be checking LeBron throughout the series. And then as far as Anthony Davis and or Dwight Howard, I'm hoping that what'll end up happening there, Bam Adebayo, you put him on one of those guys, and then for your next big guy, you may have to go with KZO. You may have to go with KZO, or if you don't want to go with KZO, maybe you go with Kyle Alexander. Or Kelly Olnick. You can go with him too. Oh man, I forgot about the 7-foot Myers Leonard. Oh fuck no. So Miles Leonard and Miles Leonard and maybe Kyle Alexander and Duncan Robinson. You know, those guys. I mean, they as far as the height though, as far as trying to counter Dwight and Anthony Davis, you know, they definitely got it on their side. Now, I spent all that time talking about them, and look, one thing I've learned from watching Miami Heat over the years through Pat Riley and what Eric Spoelstra is able to do, they are a great defensive-minded team. If they can just keep really good control of the rebounds, control the rebounds, make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. If they can do a good job on making sure that they are actually the ones that are getting the free throws more, you know, try to stay clear of having too many fucking penalties. Don't try to get into a shootout with the Lakers. What I mean by that is, don't go in this game, okay, well, you know, we're going to go with the 3 points because we got guys like Tyler Hero and, pound that shit. They got the talent. Just pound it. Pound that shit in the paint. Keep pounding it, because honestly, that's what they're really good at. Pounding it in the paint. Those mid-range shots. As long as they can keep it like that, you know, I would not try to double team LeBron. You try to double team LeBron, and he sees it coming. He sees what the blueprint is. He's going to get the other guys involved. That's the last thing that you want to fucking do. But the heart and soul for the Lakers, obviously, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You know, you got to do what you can to shut those guys down. Looking at the Lakers, I'm going to say it again. I said it with the last series, and the Lakers did not disappoint me. But when Anthony Davis puts his fucking mind to it and decides, okay, you know what? I'm going to actually fucking play. I'm here to fucking play. Give me the ball. I'm going to just fucking do my thing. Or give me the ball. I'm going to get other guys involved. You know, Anthony Davis, he needs to go into this game. He needs to get 35 points or more. LeBron James, he's got to get 35 points or more. So basically, Anthony Davis, LeBron, they got to combine for 70 points or more. No exceptions. If they have a shot. Dwight Howard, he's been turning it on. Dwight Howard, if he can get 20, that's fucking great. You already know, as far as the playoff experience goes, you got to get Rajon Rondo. You got to get him involved. Great facilitator, great distributor. You got to get him involved in there. Let's see, who else you got to get involved in there? Alex Caruso, I'm loving him. That guy, overnight sensation for me. I'm loving that dude. Let's see here. J.R. Smith. You got to get him involved early. I mean, he's been pretty cold. I've seen him have better seasons, but he's been pretty cold this go round. My personal opinion, to each its own. Yeah, you might be able to pull out 1-2 little things here and there, but he's pretty much been ice cold. But the heartbeat for the Lakers, it's all about LeBron, AD. Like I said, they got to combine for 70 points or more. Dwight Howard, I need to see him get at least 20 points. Rajon Rondo, if he's involved, he's got to contribute at least 15 points. See, who else? Caruso, it depends. Caruso, 10 points. It's got to be a team effort, though. That's the only way. It should be a good series. As far as what I'm seeing that's going to happen, man, this is where it gets kind of tough. I'm gonna say Lakers. I'm gonna say Lakers game 6. Lakers in 6. I'm gonna say Lakers in 6. I would personally love to see Miami Heat win, but given everything that had happened earlier this year, we lost Kobe, and this would be a nice. I like that. I don't want to say fairy tale ending, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So that would be a nice way to pay the ultimate homage to Black Mamba. So we'll see what happens, but I'm thinking Lakers in 6. So sound off. I'm curious what you guys have to say. I see a question being asked. What do I think about WWE Battlegrounds? Friendly reminder, if you guys missed it, you don't even know, I did type up a review. It's about a 5-minute or less read for WWE Battlegrounds. You can read it on my website, RCWRShow.com. Again, RCWRShow.com. As soon as you go to the website, boom, you can't miss it. Feel free to leave your comments there as well. Other basketball related news that I want to share with you guys. This one really shocked me, and I can't wait to see what all the sports shows have to say about this one. But Doc Rivers, after 7 seasons with the Clippers, Doc Rivers has been fired by the Los Angeles Clippers. This really, really shocked the hell out of me. It really, really did. And I thought for sure Doc Rivers was safe. I honestly did. I thought he was safe. I mean, if I were to just, different time, different circumstance and everything, at one point for many years, I actually did play basketball. And I was trying to do my best to play on a high school level, try to, play for a team and everything. And, each school I went to, though, we didn't have a high school basketball team. So it was like, what the fuck? Each school I went to, there was no school basketball team. It was like, what the fuck? Elementary, like, no. Junior high, no. High school, no. It's like, what the fuck? College, no. It's like, goddamn. Football team, same thing. It's like, okay, there's no teams. I'm like, what the fuck? So, but, just a magic wand, a basketball fairy godmother, just, okay, boom, I'm going to make you a basketball player or a basketball owner. And if you had to pick your NBA coach, who would your NBA coach be? I would want Doc Rivers. I have so much respect for that man. I have so much respect for him just as a black man, from one black man to another. I like how transparent he is. I like how open he is. I like how no topic for him is out of bounds. He speaks his mind, and he speaks it so eloquently. He speaks it so sincerely. He speaks with such experience, past experience, and it's a calm authority that comes about him. He doesn't do it in such fashion where he's doing it in an arrogant way or anything like that. And he just comes off as, and to just hear all the players say, yeah, you talk to him about anything, I would want him as a coach. If I could just pick one guy and be like, you know what, that's the guy. I know he's going to bring out the very best in me. I know he's really going to have my best interests at heart. So he's definitely the one I would go with. Man, I mean, he's considered to be the best coach in Los Angeles Clippers history. Most wins, most playoff appearances, top winning percentage. And now he's not returning as the coach. And this comes 2 weeks after the Clippers, when it's all said and done, they had a 3-1 lead over the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals. They could not fucking close the deal. You talk about the ultimate choke. But I thought for sure he was safe, and I should have known something was maybe on the wall, because I don't know how many of you guys remember it, but there was something that Kawhi Leonard had said after the Nuggets eliminated the Clippers. And Kawhi said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, we all need to be on the same page. We all need to know what our assignments are. Okay, well, if this is going on, okay, so what are we doing next? And when you hear it, you're going, damn, did he just take a shot at the coaching staff? Did he just take a shot at the head coach? That sounds like shots fired. So when you hear that, you're going, what the fuck? But even at that, I felt, especially my friends that's in the basketball as well, we all thought Doc is safe. They just got to go back and they got to regroup. And but I guess as far as the Clippers general manager and crew were concerned, I guess they said to themselves, you know what, we moved heaven and earth here to get a hold of Kawhi Leonard, and we should be going to the NBA Finals. Look, when it's all said and done, a lot of individuals were under the impression, sports shows, you name it, everybody, Clippers, it's gonna be the Clippers. Oh man, the matchup, Clippers taking on the Lakers. That's the matchup. That's the true one right there. The battle for LA. Who's it gonna be? Oh, they're evenly matched, and the Nuggets just fucking, okay, y'all forgot about us, huh? Okay, y'all keep talking about that matchup. They were the ultimate fucking Cinderella kid. The ultimate. Doc has been a terrific coach for the Clippers, an incredible ambassador, and a pillar of strength during tumultuous times. Clippers chairman Steve Ballmer said in a statement, he won a heck of a lot of games and laid a foundation for this franchise. Okay, he does all of these things, and yet, come on, 7 seasons with the Clippers, making the playoffs in 6 of them. Come on. This Clippers team, they used to be laughed upon. They used to be the joke. That irrelevant. Nah, we want to see the real LA team. We want to see the fucking Lakers. Bring them out. Bring on the Lakers. Yeah, fuck this cheap act here. I don't care about this imitation joint. Where's the real team? So, this is just, he went 356, 208 over 7 seasons with the Clippers, taking them to the West round 3 times. But again, the franchise never made the conference finals, and they went, as a result of that, 0-3, and a chance to get there this year with that loss to the Denver Nuggets. So that's heartbreaking. That is really heartbreaking. But you know what? A good coach like Doc Rivers, he's going to get picked up. If he wants to continue coaching, he's gonna fucking get a job elsewhere. And before I even bring up that topic, look, Clippers thinking, okay, all we need to do is just get rid of the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm sorry. If the Clippers are thinking all we need to do is just get rid of Doc Rivers and that's pretty much gonna solve all of our problems, well, not so fast. What I noticed of the Clippers, okay, your defense, just from a one-on-one standpoint, but also pressure and moving the ball and all that, again, defensively, everything fucking sucks. And then on top of the defensive problems that the Clippers are having, I think conditioning to a certain degree maybe was a factor as well. I think to a certain degree, the Clippers were starting to run out of steam. You could make the argument that Rivers maybe should have been playing Lou Williams a lot more just to try to add more firepower to the offense for the Clippers. in retrospect, if Rivers could have done something differently, I'm sure he probably would have maybe executed that more. Kawhi Leonard, I think personally Kawhi Leonard should have been blocking Jokic a lot more. I think he could have handled him just fine. Just fine. He should have used different coverages against Jokic and Jamal Murray, switching it up on those guys. It's like, you got to negate those guys. When you see that they're starting to get kind of high, you got to switch it up. You got to do what you can to fucking negate those guys. So, I'm not quite sure that getting rid of him, that's going to solve it. Now, apparently, the Rockets, the 76ers, I think Pelicans, all of these teams are supposedly, hey, what's up? What's up, dude? Well, you want to come over here? What's going on? He's going to land. He's going to land. Honestly, if you ask me straight up, where do I think he would land? I think the real question would be, well, what's the best place? You don't want to put him at a place where a team is totally rebuilding. You don't want to do that. But again, you got the 76ers, you got the Pelicans. I think I like the 76ers. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, they are just right fucking there. They are right fucking there. Think of your favorite video game. And as you're leveling up your character, you get to that point where, okay, you're maxed out for now. But if you want to truly awaken your character, if you truly want to, tap into their fullest maximized potential, you got to do these little assignments here. You got to do these little missions. You got to go find this, blah, 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 blah. Then when you do all of these things, bam, then you unlock that truest potential and, man, just soar like an eagle. You're fucking Phoenix or whatever. Just own it. I think Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, I think with a coach like Doc Rivers, he can fucking unlock that and he can take them to that next level that they desperately need. My heart just ached for Joel Embiid these past couple of seasons, man. I mean, he's a hell of a big man. And, I'm telling you, Doc Rivers, he would be on Joel Embiid. He'd be on that ass as far as better conditioning, strength training, and just everything. I think he would be a really good fit for them. We'll see what happens. I hope he goes to the 76ers. I feel that would be the really, really best fit. The really best fit for them. And I think maybe with a good coach like him, and then, whatever they might be able to do in the draft, yeah. But he's going to bounce back. See, other than that, I think we can pretty much go ahead and we can talk about the draft now. Yeah, I think we could pretty much go there now. Matter of fact, let me just make sure. Actually, before we go into the draft, one other thing I want to get into, wrestling related, but also political related as well. Okay, so over the weekend, Dwayne The Rock Johnson put out a video all throughout his social media feeds talking about how he has selected the people he feels represents his value, his views on where he sees America going, where he would like for it to go. He officially announced his endorsement for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And as I had said on Facebook, where I had shared his video, I said, no doubt this is going to have a lot of people divided, because that's just history. It doesn't matter who the president is. This has been happening for decades upon decades upon decades. Friendships, relationships, marriages, you name it. Relationships with family members, all of it gets tainted really badly when you talk about politics, religion, and to a certain degree, the economy / healthcare to a certain degree. Just don't mix that well at the dinner table. But as I said on Facebook, I said, look, a lot of people are going to be divided by Dwayne The Rock Johnson in his announcement. I welcome everybody to talk about this. Curious what you all think about this. But please do it in the most polite, respectful way. And one comment that had came in so far, David Edwards, he said, how much Beijing Biden and Kamalama ding dong paying you? You can't be this dumb, bro. I saw other people on Dwayne's own social media feeds after he put out this video that it was very divided. You had a lot of people that were, that's politics though, isn't it? You had a lot of people that were, hey, good for you, man. Appreciate this. That's what we need. We need more, voices like you stepping up, blah, 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 blah. And then you had people that were ripping him a new asshole. You had people that were, one comment that I just was like, wow, it's that serious. It was a mom. And she commented, I'm paraphrasing, but 90% accurate. She said, I was a fan of yours for so many years, bought all your movies, saw your movies in the theaters. You broke my heart. I'm really devastated by this decision. My kids are as devastated as well. We've burned all your movies, all your memorabilia. Can't believe you're doing this. I'm like, whoa. So, and that was a very polite message to The Rock. A couple of points with regards to The Rock doing this. And I want to let you guys right know, as far as you all trying to pick my brain, and I don't go as in-depth on politics as I used to on the free shows, because it really brings out the weirdos. And I love everybody. I'll talk, interact with everybody, but I notice when it comes to religion, politics, like social movements, like unless you can pretty much do a light little, like what we're doing right now, the heavy stuff you really got to save for like Patreon, because at least on Patreon, well, if we disagree, we can have dialogue in the most respectful way possible. That's not always the case when you're out doing a show like this openly where everybody can access it. So I am looking at this from a couple of angles that I think you all need to walk away with here, which I don't think is really being talked about enough, which is, number one, well, you could, being devil's advocate, you could look at what The Rock said, and I would encourage anybody to go out of their way. It's about a 4-minute video. It even has The Rock interviewing Biden and Kamala Harris. I recommend you guys check it out. And for The Rock to come to the conclusion that he's come to, I don't really think it should be a no-brainer for folks, even to that woman that said, we're devastated, my kids are devastated, we burned all your merchandise, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think it should be a shock, because am I the only one that remembers just a couple of months prior, The Rock had put out a video saying, where is our leader? I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically was saying, where is our leader to tell us everything is going to be okay, that this is what we're doing to fight this pandemic, this is what we're doing to, where is our leader? Y'all know the video by now. It was a very powerful video that he did. So to get to this point where he gives his endorsement for Biden and Harris, it really shouldn't come as a shock because you saw this coming. What I am most at is the fact that The Rock did this before the first presidential debate. There are so many people that are looking at this, and depending on who you talk to, well, they're both evil as fuck. They're both evil as fuck. I don't trust either one of them. Neither one of them is really going to have our best interests at heart. It's like picking between who's the lesser devil, who's the lesser of the evil. And of course, you got the infamous image that's running around of Biden. Oh, he got into politics in this year, and it goes all the way to now, and it ends with, now he wants to do something. And you're like, so what I found most peculiar was that The Rock didn't wait until the first debate, which is going to be happening Tuesday night, to see, okay, take away the teleprompters, put you on a live stage, put you on a live platform with all, of your peers and, the current presidents across from you. Going to be getting random questions from the audience and everything. Okay, let's see how you really hold up here. Let's see if what's going on with you is a front or if there's some real fucking substance here. Because all the videos, little commercials and all of that and little interviews and pre-taped and all this other stuff, that's great. But let's see how things go when we take all of that away from you. Let's see if you can really shine when it counts the most. So I found it a bit peculiar that The Rock didn't hold off the endorsement until after the debate. I think that's more than reasonable. Is it not? I mean, put politics, your affiliation, Democrat, Republican, Tea Party, just put your affiliation to the side for a minute. Don't you think it makes all the sense in the world? Even if I really want to go with this guy. That's fine if you really want to go with this guy, but before you make that commitment, don't you think you owe it to yourself to make sure that you at least watch one debate to see how this individual is going to be able to hang toe to toe with? Because for you to jump out there and give such a endorsement, that's rather huge. That's a big deal. And then you got to live with the consequences if it comes back, and it backfires on you because you don't get the result that you were hoping you were going to get. So that's where I kind of stand, first off, with The Rock. I just thought that was a little bit peculiar. I'm not bashing him in any type of way. Look, at the end of the day, what I would say to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I would say to you, anybody else, if we're at a bar, we're having a drink or two, and we're just casually talking like this, I would say a bit peculiar, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's your right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it right. That's your right. That's what this country has been built off of. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the heartache, the sacrifices. For you to be in that position where you can say, okay, well, this is what I choose to do. This is what I choose to do with my vote. So that's one angle that I'm looking at with regards to The Rock. The other angle I'm looking at with regards to The Rock is this. Did anybody else pick up the vibe here? Really beginning with that first video that he put out this year. Where's our leader? Where's our leader when we need him the most? Da, 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 da. Combine that with what he did with Biden and Harris over the weekend. Is anybody else kind of getting the vibe there that The Rock officially has planted the seeds of eventually getting into politics? Did anybody else kind of get that vibe? I sure as hell had got that vibe, and I just couldn't help but look, the man is very strategic. Anything this man touches makes money. Anything this man touches, it becomes successful. So I just couldn't help but go, if this is his way of being ushered into the world of politics, if this is how he's going to do it, it's a nice backdoor that he's taking. To the point, there's a tweet that I had put out when that video came out about The Rock. And I'm actually trying to see if I can pull it up for you guys right now. I really haven't been tweeting that much, so I should be able to come across this real quick here. Matter of fact, I'm already on some of the Sunday games. Here it is. Here it is. And shout out to Renee Michelle, the wife of Drake Maverick. Usually, she's cool people. I can't stress it enough. If you're looking for some really cool people to follow on social media, folks that actually, interact with their fan base and all that, Renee Michelle, Drake Maverick's wife, she's real cool fucking people. I also love the fact that she's a fellow Chicagoan just like me. She's really badass. And we kind of went back and forth on this for just a hot second here. And let me look at this here. Let me see. Hang on here. No. Yeah, here's what I said. I said, good for you. Anyone also get the vibe he officially has started his path of one day being in a political position with this announcement. Could be wrong, but talk about a serious seed planted. That's honestly the vibe I had got from this. I'm not sure if you guys had picked up the vibe on that as well. And it's just, I mean, that's a good way to do it, right? I mean, that's a damn good way to do it. But yeah, those are the elements that I just look at. And, it's sad that we're in this day and age where we're so divided. It really, really is. I'm going to end it right there because I don't want to go any more philosophical, any more deep into that. But look, at the end of the day, that's The Rock. I don't think The Rock would be vocal as he is right now if, number one, he wasn't as passionate. He wasn't as confident. And look, he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. He's got a family, a growing family. Newest addition had came just a couple of months ago. So he's not just thinking about himself. He's thinking about, okay, for the generation that's to come after him. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just trying to help add more context, add more clarity. Because it really took me back seeing so many people but then again, I really shouldn't be surprised. So let's get into this mock draft. I can't believe we're just now getting ready to go into this mock draft. I wonder if we should just hold off, because if we get into this mock draft, I'm telling you guys, if we get into this mock draft right now, this mock draft is gonna fucking go. This mock draft is gonna fucking go. My God. I think this mock draft would probably take us to maybe. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm seeing that the show is about 2 hours and 5 minutes right now, maybe 2 hours and 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. This is your 2020 WWE mock draft. I got my pen and paper. I got the roster right here. Let's do this. All right. Let's do this. All right. So, looking at the Raw side of things. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'm doing this right. Okay, so SmackDown is going to be having it night one. They're going to be doing it first. And then it follows up because it starts October 9th, Friday, October 9th on Fox. SmackDown has night one of the draft. Then it concludes night two, October 12th on Monday Night Raw. So with that in mind, I'm looking at the Raw roster. And I'm going to tell you guys who I think is going to get drafted. Again, the following names I'm looking at for Raw are going to get drafted to SmackDown. All right, so let's see what we got here. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Angel Garza. I'm looking at Angel Garza. Drafted to SmackDown. Excuse me, guys. Let's see. What else we got here? I'm pausing because right now I'm looking at Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch should just remain a free agent and she can pretty much go wherever, whenever. Yeah. If you're looking for a Becky Lynch announcement, I would say don't even look for a Becky Lynch announcement. I just don't see it. Okay, let's see. Who else we got here? Man, so many good choices here, man. So many good choices. I don't see the Hurt Business going anywhere. I see the Hurt Business remaining intact. Again, Hurt Business, they remain intact. I am going to go Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal goes from Raw to SmackDown. Humberto Carrillo. It just hasn't been working out well for him on Raw. Maybe he can find better luck on the Blue brand. So, Humberto Carrillo. Billy Kay. Billy Kay goes from Raw to SmackDown. I could actually see an interesting pairing with Carmella. Just saying. Let's see, what else we got here? Remember what I said earlier about Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins? Remember what I said there? So the question becomes, okay, so who goes? I'm going with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins from Raw to SmackDown. Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is safe. Kevin Owens is safe. Mickie James. Mickie James goes from Raw to SmackDown. I would love to see her go from Raw to SmackDown. I just have not, during the 3-hour show, I'm just not liking how she's being booked on the Raw side of things. So I have more faith and confidence with the Blue brand than I do with her currently on the Red brand. Mustafa Ali, he's safe. I know the Riot Squad just got back together. I know they just got back together. But you know what, man? I'm more interested in singles action. I really am. Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott to SmackDown. All right, we'll see. Who else we got here? Now, NXT should be up for grabs as well. So let me look at NXT. Killian Dane. Killian Dane. I think he's more than ready. Remember, not everybody down there in NXT needs to be fucking going for a singles championship and all that. I would like to see Killian Dane. You know, I almost forgot about that. Let's see here. This is real. Oh man, I can't believe I almost forgot about him. Put him on SmackDown too. Put him on SmackDown too. Coming from NXT. Mansoor. Again, Mansoor. All right, let's see who else we got here. Oh, she's more than ready. She is more than ready. Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai. Let's see. Yeah, I like her too. She's got some spunk to her. She's got some spunk to her. Oh man, she's actually pretty good too. Robert Stone. Chelsea Green. I like to see Indy Hartwell, but I'm not really sure just yet. Indy Hartwell is... seems like she needs to be in the oven just a little tiny bit longer. Just a little tiny bit longer. I think that's it. I think that's it. All right, so far I got coming from Raw and NXT to SmackDown. So far I've got Angel Garza, Jinder Mahal, Humberto Carrillo, Billy Kay, Seth Rollins, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Killian Dane, Mansoor, Dakota Kai, Robert Stone, Chelsea Green. Now, didn't the way they did this last year, didn't they do it by like 3? And I think there was like maybe, what, 5 or 6 segments of the night or something like that. So let me see here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me pick 3 more people then. Let me pick 3 more people. See, 3 more people. Santana Garrett. And see, some of these women that I'm putting on here, I'm trying to really help the women's brand here. That's what I'm keeping in mind here when I'm looking at this. He's got so much controversy going on with him right now. I'm not sure. Velveteen Dream is the one that I'm talking about. I'm really not sure right now. I would be hands off right now with Jinder Mahal. Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. That would be good. Can't keep plucking them though. That's the thing. I'm seeing somebody else in NXT that I would like to pluck, but I don't want to keep plucking. So let me go back to Raw. Maybe there's somebody I missed here. Huh. I personally would like to see the 24/7 title go from Raw to SmackDown. That's what I personally would like to see happen. "24/7 champion, whoever it is, the 24/7 champion, they go to SmackDown. So the 24/7 champion becomes exclusive to SmackDown. Okay. All right. So I think we got 15 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I need one more. I am gonna go with Eric and Ivar. I'm gonna take them as a set. Eric and Ivar. All right. So from Raw to SmackDown, there's also some NXT names in here. That's gonna go from NXT to SmackDown. Again, this is our mock draft. This is how I'm looking at how I'd book it. Angel Garza, Jinder Mahal, Humberto Carrillo, Billy Kay, Seth Rollins, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Killian Dane from NXT, Mansoor, Dakota Kai, Robert Stone, Chelsea Green, Santana Garrett, the 24/7 champion, Eric and Ivar. That's for the SmackDown side of things. Okay, now let's look at who is going to go from Raw to SmackDown. We'll also look at some NXT names as well. All right, so let's see here. Daniel Bryan goes from SmackDown to Raw. Daniel Bryan goes from SmackDown to Raw. I kind of feel as though the Usos are safe. But after what I had saw this past Sunday, Jey Uso from SmackDown to Raw. Jey Uso from SmackDown to Raw. John Morrison from SmackDown to Raw. John Morrison from SmackDown to Raw. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy from SmackDown to Raw. Let's see here. I'm looking at Braun Strowman and The Fiend. I'm looking at these two guys. This is tricky. This is tricky. Braun Strowman to Raw. Again, Braun Strowman to Raw. Let's see who we got here. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle from SmackDown to Raw. Matt Riddle from SmackDown to Raw. Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross comes from SmackDown to Raw. I don't know where Amber Moon is on her recovery process. Elias. SmackDown's not doing shit with him. Bring him back to Raw. Bring him back to Raw. They can find something for him. Bring him back to Raw. Lars Sullivan. At this point, you can just call him a free agent, but I'm going to say he gets picked up for the red brand. All right, let me look at NXT real quick here. That would be a significant blow. I'm looking at the NXT roster, and that would be very, very interesting. Very interesting. Undisputed Era to Monday Night Raw. Undisputed Era to Monday Night Raw. Karrion Kross to Monday Night Raw. Karrion Kross to Monday Night Raw. By default, Scarlett tags along. Kushida to Monday Night Raw. Rhea Ripley, Monday Night Raw. That's tempting. That's tempting. That's very tempting. Yes. Yes. Xia Li, Monday Night Raw. Xia Li to Monday Night Raw. See how many names I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that's it. I think everybody else is safe. All right, so let's recap this. And I want to know what you guys think about this mock draft of mine. All right, so for SmackDown, I would have them acquire Angel Garza, Jinder Mahal, Humberto Carrillo, Billy Kay, Seth Rollins, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Killian Dane from NXT, Mansoor, technically from NXT, Dakota Kai from NXT, Robert Stone, Chelsea Green, Santana Garrett, NXTs, the 24/7 champion, Eric and Ivar. Kind of seems as though SmackDown needs something else, doesn't it? Kind of seems like they need something else. I almost want to say SmackDown could use the services of the Garganos. And I'm going to do that. The Garganos. That's final. All right. So again, SmackDown, Angel Garza, Jinder Mahal, Humberto Carrillo, Billy Kay, Seth Rollins, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Killian Dane, Mansoor, Dakota Kai, Robert Stone, Chelsea Green, Santana Garrett. All of those cats I just named are from NXT. The 24/7 champion, Eric and Ivar, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae Gargano. All right, Raw. I can see Raw get Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, Braun Strowman, Matt Riddle, Nikki Cross, Elias, Lars Sullivan, The Undisputed Era, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Kushida, Rhea Ripley, Xia Li. I think that combined, and I'm just thinking about what's currently going on with the women's roster on Raw. I think that's good. You know what? I'm going to put one more name for Raw. Very promising. I'm very impressed with her. She just needs to continue to be slowly developed. They got to have kid gloves with her, but I can see her definitely breaking out to be a monster star. Especially if you were to pair her up with Tamina Snuka. And I'm going to say Tamina Snuka goes to Raw as well. But the other person that I'm thinking of, Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez. That's the list in a nutshell. No reason for me to repeat that again. You guys got it. Let me know what you think about that mock draft. I'm most curious. The way I tried to go about this, I tried to address a couple of things. I tried to address the women's rosters because it's in dire need of some reshaping there, some freshening up. So I tried to look at it from that standpoint. And then I also tried to look at things, of course, not just new rivalries, but, now that we've had access to NXT for a good minute now on the USA Network, this is an easy transition as far as as far as seeing some of the folks from NXT on some of these main flagship shows. Now, some of you may be looking at those names and you may be saying to yourself, well, Lee, do you see anybody going to NXT? Do I see anybody going to NXT? Let's strictly do NXT because we're actually not done. NXT, who could they acquire? Natalya. Put Natalya on NXT. I'm looking at the rest of the roster. Bear with me. I'm just trying to see if there's like anybody else. Mojo Rawley. It's pretty much been a bust for him on the main roster. Callisto. Okay, let's look at Raw again. There's no way in hell that would happen, but I would love to see Dominic Mysterio go to NXT. I would love to see that happen. Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, NXT. Robert Roode, NXT. Robert Roode, NXT. That's it. That's it. I'm not seeing anybody else. I'm not seeing... Nah, he's safe. He's more than safe. Yeah, that's it. NXT, I could see Natty, Mojo Rawley, Callisto, Dominic Mysterio, Bobby Roode. Those would be the people I would put on NXT. And I think in their own respected rights, they would definitely help out. I mean, if you guys are expecting like a wow, didn't see that coming of a wild card name. Not really seeing that. Unless, I mean, he has gotten a bit stale. He has gotten a bit stale. Kevin Owens on NXT. Put Kevin Owens back on NXT. That would freshen some things up quite a bit. Putting him back on NXT. That'd be a huge acquisition for the Wednesday nights there. Alright, one last time. Let's look at it here. Alright, so SmackDown. Angel Garza, Jinder Mahal, Humberto Carrillo, Billy Kay, Seth Rollins, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Killian Dane, Mansoor, Dakota Kai, Robert Stone, Chelsea Green, Santana Garrett, the 24/7 champion, Eric and Ivar, the Garganos. They would be part of SmackDown. Raw. Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, Braun Strowman, Matt Riddle, Nikki Cross, Elias, Lars Sullivan, The Undisputed Era, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Kushida, Rhea Ripley, Xia Li, Raquel Gonzalez, Tamina Snuka. NXT, Natalya, Mojo Rawley, Callisto, Dominic Mysterio, Robert Roode, Kevin Owens. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's our 2020 mock draft. Curious to see how this pans out, man. I'm most curious to see how this pans out. We gotta wait a whole week just to see how it's gonna play out. All right, so on that note, I think we did pretty good, man. We went all over the place. Nothing I have forgot about covering this go round. Hey, shout out to some of our sponsors. With them combined with our Patreon members, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible for free. So definitely do appreciate them. Check out op.tv. Again, op.tv. If you guys are looking to cut the cable, you can definitely do it with the help of op.tv. They got packages beginning at just $6 a month. Just $6 a month. And if you use the promo code RCWR SHOW, you get to save yourself a little bit of extra money at checkout. So definitely peep them out when you guys get a chance. And who else do we want to give a shout out to here while we're still on the air here? I want to give a shout out to, of course, Winfield. Check out her debut novel, Cult of the Eclipse. If you're into everything that's horror, thrillers, you definitely will love that book, especially with it being pretty much October. Halloween's around the corner. You like stuff like that, stuff that keeps you awake at night to a degree. Check that out. It's on Amazon. You can get it in paperback or in Kindle. Also want to give a mad shout out to shirtsandapparel.com, shirtsandapparel.com, where anyone can load their own images and custom text to different styles of t-shirts, hoodies, caps, drink koozies, coffee mugs, posters, clipboards, you name it. You can even make your own political shirt as well. Shirtsandapparel.com. Again, shirtsandapparel.com. Appreciate working with them. Who else we got in there? Of course, take advantage of a 30-day trial on yours truly with Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/RCWR. Get yourself a free membership for 30 days. In that 30 days, you get yourself a free audio book and 2 audio originals. And after that trial is over, you know, you can pretty much get 1 audio book and 2 Audible originals each month, and you'll get an email reminder 7 days before your trial ends. Now, if you decide, you know what, after the free trial's over, I'm good, you get to keep the audio book that you had got on the house. That's yours to keep for free. How about that? That's badass, right? So take advantage of that. audibletrial.com/RCWR show. Feel like we're forgetting somebody else. I wish I knew who it was. Shirts and Apparel, op.tv, Cult of the Eclipse. No, we pretty much got everybody else. Everybody knows who they are. If you didn't hear your ad, have no fear. You're probably gonna most likely hear your ad in post-production. So next edition of the RCWR show is, at this point, I'll be coming on live. Let's see what happens. Let's see. If not this Thursday night. Well, you know what? I think it is going to be Thursday night. Because let's see how that NBA final schedule is looking, first of all. Let's see. NBA schedule here. Give me a second here. Because I do not want to be doing a game when the NBA Finals is on. All right, so it looks like everything kicks off, as I mentioned, on Wednesday the 30th. Then the next game will be on Friday, October 2nd. Then you got Sunday, October 4th. So I tell you what, I will be live this Thursday night. I'll be live on the air, and we'll have a new RCWR show for you guys. Patreon members, stay tuned. You guys got new content coming your way, of course. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR show. By the way, man, can't stress enough, you guys had enjoyed the episode. You guys had a good time. Do me a huge favor and make sure you leave the likes, leave the comments. Love interacting with you all. And help spread the word of the content, man. More people that we're able to have connect with us and everything. Bigger, more broader, we can get out there reaching audience and everything. So do that. Appreciate that in advance. To those of you that were checking out the show live, much love. Those of you that made it this far, checking us out on demand and or on the downloads, appreciate the love and support as always. Till next go round, wishing all of you all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios.